Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure, and hopefully y'all don't have an adventure like I had yesterday. Behind the scenes at the Horde, I've been busy. There's been a few family things I've been catching up on. It's tax time, so I've been getting the income taxes together, including a bunch of the stuff from YouTube, and then my car insurance, car and house insurance, it's always struck me as if it's been a little bit expensive, but I put it out for bid, and it came back like 40% cheaper, which is thousands of dollars cheaper for the car, house, and umbrella policy. So obviously I had to go through all the dealings of getting the insurance rewritten. And believe it or not, the house passed an inspection with all this stuff floating around, including the door on the back there, the one that kind of goes to nowhere. I mean, it's blocked off on the inside. It's locked. You can't get out that door to fall or anything. But normally insurance companies don't enjoy seeing that kind of stuff. I'm amazed once again that I didn't have trouble with all this stuff out here. So that's been very, very time consuming. I've also suffered some project delays for parts. I'm waiting, as you guys know, for a bunch of the pit bike ignition systems so I can kind of move some of these other projects forward. I found a American supplier for the pit bike stuff, and I reordered again. Now I have, I think, 14 pit bike ignitions coming. Maybe it's even more than that. So hopefully they come in soon, so those projects could move forward. I was running some errands yesterday, and I took a horrible fall. I was carrying something heavy on my shoulder when I tripped and fell, and I fell on blacktop and, did one of these skidding things with my hand. I don't know if you could see it. It's only slightly yellowed. I mean, it moves. Right, mostly, as much as it, the swelling will allow it to move. So I don't think it's broken, but I have to tell you, it hurts. And like if I'm trying to do anything, like hang on to that carburetor, as I'm working on it, it sings. It calls out to me. Speaking of which, I was asked a question specifically about these dune buggies or hammerheads or whatever we're calling them these days. Somebody called me up and told me, hey, mine starts and stalls out immediately. And just quickly on that, why am I not seeing it on this carb? If you look at the carburetor, hopefully your carburetor looks something like this. This is a little needle valve that allows gas to drain from the bottom of the carburetor. I find a lot of times if these things start right up and then stall and you go and you restart it and it starts up, sometimes they'll run long enough for you to get a halfway decent distance from the garage. That way you got to push them all the way back. A lot of times that's water in the gas, so if you open that up and drain a couple of cups of fuel out of there and put it back on, you're good. Don't mess with that one because that affects your mixture at idle. And I don't know, I'm looking at this carburetor and for some reason I'm not seeing it there. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the story is with this carburetor and that little needle valve. Just picture though, if this carburetor is on the engine, you will be working down around there somewhere, which is with the roll cage and everything else on it, a lot of fun to kind of squeeze yourself into. If not, you take off the air filter and then loosen this up. The carburetor comes loose. Take the bowl off. Simple enough, right? 2, 4, take it off. and that should fix it up. I think the person asked, and I don't know if it's actually her name is Kimberly, or if it's, you know, somebody using Kimberly's account. But she asked the question. So anyway, behind the scenes, I've been a little bit tied up, and for that I apologize. Well, I'm saying hopefully things will loosen up a little bit. I actually have a couple of deals that I have to drive some distance from, Pennsylvania up in New Hampshire. So I guess I'm going to be going up and down the eastern seaboard a little bit. And I don't know, you'll probably see some loading videos and all while I'm doing that kind of stuff. So it should be interesting. I hope you guys enjoy all that. Somebody made a comment, did I give up on three-wheelers? It wasn't that long ago that I brought home the rat rod version that's now covered with stuff. No, I didn't give up on them. I'm just slightly distracted for the moment. Please excuse that. I mean, you know, they're here and they're all over the place. It's just, you know, the newest, shiniest object to come in distracts me. And no, I haven't forgot about this guy either. I just, you know, when you're working on a project, sometimes you have to walk away. Like, I tried to use that wheelbarrow thing up high, and it just isn't working for me. So obviously it's easy enough to cut this off, but then how do you support something at an angle, right? I don't want the rails coming back at an angle, and this angle is different than that angle, so that won't look very good, which means I got to drop it even further down, all the way down to there, which I think is too low. So I might have to drop it down to there and then put wooden blocks on it. So anyway, this thing, I'm still working on what's going to look the best, right? So once I figure out how I'm putting that on, then I could, you know, cut and move the axle back and go forward with it. And I actually need this thing. I have quite a few sticks down and other things going on around the property, so I really kind of need that to start doing spring work. So hopefully that works its way back up on the list. So here's just a little bit going on behind the scenes here at at my ranch, museum, collection, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, about falling, I don't recommend that. I think considering I was carrying heavy stuff and all when I fell, I could have actually gotten like really hurt. Though I did fall enough that it rang my bell, you know, when I stood up, you know, a little lightheaded, a little nauseous. So I did get my bell rung. Much better today. Took a few leaves, so hopefully this comes in better. It stops hurting so much, and I could get back to work hopefully for tomorrow. The weather's supposed to be better for tomorrow, so hopefully everything comes all together and I get back to it. It's nice to have my taxes filed. It's nice to have a much less expensive insurance. You know, you have $1,000 or so that you don't have to spend on insurance. It makes your life a little better, let me tell you. By the way, I used to have Liberty Mutual on the house and cars, moved to Allstate, and it was a dramatic decrease in cost. Some of you might say, well, you know, Allstate, they do this, that, and the other thing. Here in New York, the insurance market is fairly well regulated, and if you sell insurance in New York, and a lot of companies don't like to, it's kind of a pest for them. You know, they got to meet all these standards and do all this wonderful stuff. So I'm not all that worried about them not paying if there's a problem, right? New York is a nuisance about that to them. Once again, that's why a lot of them don't like to sell here. So I got more insurance for a lot less money, and I'll take that any day. Okay, everyone, go get your insurance reviewed. Maybe you can save some coin. Remember to keep your feet down, your heads up. Try not to fall down and damage yourself. I truly don't recommend it. And everyone, get out there and enjoy your days. If you liked this video, you know how to tell me. And if you didn't, you know how to tell me that also. Bye now.